Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. Since we're still in the month of February, we're doing yet another Valentine's suggestion, and today's movie is the 2013 comedy horror romance Warm Bodies. As for the trivia question for today, what audio clip from an 80s comedy movie can you hear in this movie? The answer will be at the end of this video. So, Warm Bodies is a modern day retelling of Romeo and Juliet with zombies. The story was in fact inspired by Romeo and Juliet, but it is actually a novel called Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. Nicholas Hoult plays R, who is clearly supposed to be our Romeo, who is a zombie that we get to hear the inner monologue of, and who is slowly beginning to make changes. Teresa Palmer plays Julie, or our Juliet, and she's the one causing these changes for R, and she's also a human who gets stuck in a bit of a bad situation. Obviously, in this film, the Montagues are the zombies, or as they're called, corpses, and the humans are the Capulets. There's also a third group called the Bonies that are just zombies that have decided to give up. Some of the cast members are even supposed to be placeholders for a few of the characters from Romeo and Juliet. And this includes Marcus as Mercutio, Perry as Paris, Nora as the nurse, and even Grigio as Lord Capulet. And if the characters and story aren't enough to convince you that this is a story of Romeo and Juliet, there's even a balcony scene. There are a few blink and you miss it things in this movie, including blinking. One thing if you don't notice is that the zombies, at least up until things start to change, don't blink at all. Nicholas Hoult hated this as most of his scenes were very up close and it was very hard for him to not do blinking. The Blu-ray that Julie holds up to make a comparison with R is actually the 1979 movie Zombie, which is lauded as one of the best zombie movies ever made. When Julie first escapes the airplane, one of the first zombies she runs into does in fact look a lot like Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, and that was done on purpose. There was definitely a few things that changed from the book to the movie. Some of those choices were better than others. For instance, apparently R actually started off as being what was known as a corporate zombie, as he wore a suit and a red tie. Another big change was with the ending. In the book, it ended with Julie going in to kiss R, but then biting him for some reason, and then both of them started having glowing gold eyes as they transformed into what was supposed to be the opposite of zombies. I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Personally, I really like Warm Bodies. I think it's a lot of fun and entertaining to watch. It's also my favorite rendition of Romeo and Juliet. So I'm going to give Warm Bodies a 4 out of 5. As for the trivia question from the beginning of the episode, what audio clip from an 80s comedy movie can you hear in this movie? The white zone is for loading and unloading of passengers only. This is a line you can actually hear in the movie when R and Julie are walking through the airport, and it's a direct audio clip from the 1980 comedy Airplane. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews. If you have a movie you'd like to hear get a review, make sure to add it down into the comments. Otherwise, as usual, like, comment, share, and subscribe.